Welcome to TFB TV. I'm back. I was recently invited to a very exciting product launch. After nearly 20 years, the ZEV Magpul FDC and FDP.
At the heart of this thing is their steel frame.
ZEV took the frame from their OZ9, chopped off the Picatinny rail, added a manual safety, and made some other small changes. The necessity for a folding trigger meant that the traditional blade safety was not possible.
We still have our integral locking block. We're still using all the same trigger parts. Field strip on these is very simple. Pop your top cover off. You just gotta pull this pin out, point it in the safe direction, and then you can see your slide lock lever right here. Pull your slide slide back, pop that.
The rest is pretty simple. So what about deployment?
Finger right there on your charging handle. Something like that. And then you've got your hand right here.
These are safe to carry with a round in the chamber, but while we were learning, we were running with an empty chamber and had to charge this wicked little shooter.
If I can give a couple pro tips too, just real quick.
This is Drake.
Anybody have any questions?
You may or may not recognize him from the 2008 product launch video for the FMG-9. Back to the FDC.
The very first step you should be doing is folding that grip, collapsing that grip out of the way, right?
Folding the gun was awkward at first, but breaking the grip, then folding the stock made things run much smoother. I pinched my hand once or twice and deployment wasn't always perfect, but with practice, we all got pretty fast. The charging handle is ambidextrous and folds out of the way. It's also the front of that charging handle that you press to unfold the gun. The charging handles were strong, I didn't feel like I was gonna break them. They are small though, which is a necessity for this specific use case. As I mentioned, there's no trigger safety, which means a manual safety is required. The safety is tucked away to reduce snag points. I do have to break my grip to activate and deactivate it, but really it's not that big a deal. That's the case for most long guns that I shoot. I did see a few people using their support hand to deactivate the safety, which worked fine. But once you get the FDC going, it rips. The FDC wasn't great just as a close-range weapon. More precise shots were also possible. These targets were about 30-40 yards away, so why not try a little farther? It seemed like a waste not to stretch the legs of this little viper. Wait, snakes don't have legs. We were able to repeatedly hit full-size and reduced-size steel out to 200 yards. Scoped, red dotted, ironed. The FDC and FDP use a 7-inch barrel. We were shooting 147 grain FMJs. I'm really curious to see how this would perform with some lighter, faster rounds, maybe like the G9 EHPs. Now these are not final production guns, and it was very cool to be part of the development process as the engineers were there taking notes and keeping track of rounds. So why did it take so long to come out? While the public had been waiting for this to be released for almost 20 years, the perspective of Magpul was different. That 2008 launch was really just Magpul showing off. There was no interest in producing a full firearm. Lessons were learned from projects like the Masada, so the idea just sat on a shelf. It wasn't until ZEV saw the opportunity to put their OZ-9 frame into this platform that the project was really resurrected. So who is this for? The FDC and the FDP would be a great option for honestly a lot of people. Executive protection professionals, law enforcement, or even just your average soccer mom walking her dog down the street. The number one purpose, as far as I see it, is discretion. Whether you're a professional who needs a reliable, quick to deploy firearm in a hostile environment, or you're just a mom and on-body carry doesn't really work for you. You could easily have this stored in a bag, but that's just talking about the versatility of the folding gun. The folks at ZEV and Magpul both expressed their interest in continuing this line into a full family of FDC, FDP firearms. This could even include a version with a fixed stock. Additionally, we were able to use some aluminum carry handles produced by ZEV. Now, these were prototypes, but they're cut, allowing you to countersink and aim point acro. This is my preference, but the irons were pretty easy to work with too. You want to know how it shoots under nods? I'd say just fine. I gotta be honest with you. Before getting behind the FDC, I would have laughed at the idea of a fixed stock variant. The whole point is it's a folding gun, right? The folding is very cool and has some real practical purpose. Unfolded, the overall length is 20 inches, and the whole thing weighs less than 3.5 pounds. A handy, lightweight, and reliable PCC could be a very quick firearm to deploy either in competition or in some more serious roles. Folding and discretion aside, the FDP and FDC are just really fun PCCs. I can't wait to run this thing in a local PCC match. Or have the fixed stock variant strapped to my chest walking through the mountains. The possibilities are endless. Price-wise, you're looking at about $1,600 MSRP. As far as availability, launch is expected in Q1 of 2025. I want to thank ZEV, Magpul, Silencer Co., and the two ladies who kept us fed for 3 days. I love what I do, but what I really love is the community. I shared a room with giants in the industry, and it felt no different than chatting with the boys at a local match. I'd also like to thank our sponsors for their continued support, and an extra thank you to all of you watching. So head over to our Subscribe Star or Patreon to keep the goodies coming. Stay safe. We'll see you around.